Hey guys, in this episode, you're going to meet Louise. She is just so gifted. She has the ability to tune into spirit, see them, talk to them, and access different levels of consciousness with angels and archangels. In my near death experience, I saw this other side. It's definitely a real thing. It's more real than this, actually. And also, she uses Reiki, which is an energetic way to tune in and heal and offer light to people. But I want you to stay tuned until the end. You're going to witness us tuning in and going into a really short meditation. But listening to, if you have curiosity or you think that you have some other abilities buried within you, which you do, there's some practice and some things you can do to strengthen that. So excited for this show. Listen to the end, and you're going to find out how to tune into your own psychic abilities. Here we go. Thanks, guys. Hey, welcome to Plug Into Your Life. Guys, I have Louise here. I am very excited to talk about psychics and mediumship. Just did a class yesterday with a local medium in town, and the incredibleness behind being able to tune in your mind like a radio receiver to hear or pick up information from the other side is really incredible. Louise, thanks for being on here.
Thank you for inviting me on.
Yeah, and you may not know this, but I had a near-death experience where I left my body and I saw the other side. And I could see how the interaction happens between energetic vibrations of information, and it's really incredible to tune into that. But I'm sure this wasn't something that was widely accepted in your life, or at least maybe you were kind of shy about it. So I'm curious, what was your life like before you kind of stepped into that?
My life was pretty chaotic. My life is still chaotic, but a nice chaotic. You get the really, really up chaotic. So it was very much different. It was very much, I didn't know who I was. I didn't really connect to spirit back then. I was always psychic. I've always seen things before it happened, like 9/11. I've also seen a building. I had a vision that there was a building going to fall in front of me, and I thought it was my building, and actually it was across the road. It happened like 5 minutes after.
Oh, wow.
So I've always been quite psychic, and then just during, oh God, I would say the past 6, 7 years, I've started to open up more, and it's been because I've actually went through how can I put it, a massive transformation. But before then, my life was totally different. I was so quiet. I didn't really know much about my own self because I've been so conditioned through my whole life through other people. And really, it was something that I was always wanting to help others with. And I knew I was gifted and I just wanted to help others. So I started developing slowly. But I've got 3 kids and they were very, yeah, and a husband who's totally, my kids are very much, they're quite psychic as well, but my husband doesn't quite get it all. So yeah, it was very different. It was basically finding me at the time. And I went through really, really a tough time, and it's just totally different to now. It just opens up so many avenues, and helping others is so important.
Mm. Yeah, I love all that. And you brought up some things I think that may resonate with some people. Like you didn't feel comfortable, like in your, you didn't know like yourself yet. It was almost like you were trying to figure it out. Maybe I think a lot of people may feel that way, and especially these, like you brought up 6 or 7 years. I feel like that's been like a common theme with people. Like I don't know too much about astrology and all that stuff, but I do know that there seems to be a common theme of people kind of recognizing some of their gifts and talents, and it may be spiritual or it may not be, but kind of stepping into that awareness of yourself is really incredible. And then I'm sure your kids see that as well. And I think husbands, it seems to be like a 70% to 30% women to men ratio in the spiritual world. And
Yeah.
I think it's because they have to become more vulnerable and more in tune with their emotions too.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. But men are becoming more open,
Yeah.
which is fantastic, and getting more in touch with their emotions.
Hmm. Now, so what were you doing for work? Like when you were younger and you kind of had all these, like, I'm curious to know too, like, was there ever any like crazy psychic image or something and it kind of helped you with a work or school or something like that?
So during I was doing teaching and I was studying at the time, and every job I've had, I knew it's not been for me at all, and I just get that feeling going, right, okay, I can't do this job, and it was something I've always had trouble getting jobs, or when I've been at a job, I'm like, yeah, let's just give it up. It doesn't feel right. And really, it was because I was meant to be going down this spiritual path.
Mm,
So everything what kept coming to me, I kept saying, right, okay, I'm going to try this out. I'm going to try that out. It doesn't feel right. And then it's been very much so when you're saying about the 6, 7 years thing, that believe it or not, every 7 years there's a cycle what gets repeated, and it's whether you stay or you grow.
mm,
And I noticed 7 years ago, I was going through a really bad time in my life. My marriage was breaking up, my kids were having a hard time. I was very much overweight. I was larger than I am now.
mm,
I've lost a lot of weight, and it was very much because I was unhappy within myself. And it was that 7 year period of going, do you stay or do you evolve? And yeah, it was very much, I actually am a Reiki practitioner as well. And that opened me up massively to what I'm doing now.
Now, oh, I love all that. So, and it just so happens my near-death experience was about 7 years ago, and so and I also looked became Reiki certified, and I think Reiki, if somebody doesn't know what that is, and also I just want to point out your if anyone is resonating with any of this or wants to reach out to Louise, it's Louise the spiritual angel. We will put her link down below. So before we get too deep into this, if you guys want to check her out or reach out to her, that'd be the best way to do that. And yeah, so I think Reiki, if someone's not familiar with that, it's like I keep mentioning this on the show, but when you walk into a room and someone's fighting and they're not doing anything when you walk in, but you can feel that there's a fight, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's energy. And there's another energy of life and love and ultimate and eternal light and love. And when you tune into that energy, it's healing, it gives power, it grows. And as a Reiki practitioner, you are trained to learn how to channel that energy into others. And really, the other person is healing. It's just
Yep.
you are the conduit of this attention, right?
Yeah, definitely. And it's so powerful. Healing is, I mean, I do online sessions as well, but I've done it not online. And it's so powerful to know that you can give that healing from such a distance, because you pick up energy. Even with me and you talking, I'm picking up energy all the time. You're picking up my energy. Everything is energy, because the vibrations, and you've got high and lower vibrations, and it's to balance your energies, because people are empaths, and we pick up everyone's energies, we absorb the energies, and sometimes it might not be ours. So sometimes you're needing someone to hold space for you, just to how can I put it, to cleanse your energies or to realign your chakras, and to help move blocks. And I remove blocks as well, which is so powerful. And Reiki was the one thing what actually opened me up to my angels, my spirit guides, and in the past 2 years, it's actually been through self-development. I've opened up more to spirit.
Mm. Now that transformation from now, so Reiki practitioner, tuning into spirits and energy and helping people unblock things that are stuck within them. That transition, how did that look for you? Like, and you mentioned your kids have also are in tune with their abilities. That's actually my inner passion, is showing young people that they have these gifts. Um, when did you start noticing that your kids were like that, and how was that transition into? Because now you do this full time.
Yes, I do this full time.
How was that transition? And
Oh,
how can people learn that if they have that inner calling? What would you encourage them to start doing?
practice. So it's all about practice and asking. So for me, it's all, oh, I'm getting vibrations even through my feet talking. So it's also about vibration. It's about how, for me, so transition actually, because I started practicing and doing cards, angel cards, that's how it all started, through the healing to the cards. And it was all about practice. And for anyone who's wanting to know a little bit more, or should I do it, and you've got the call in, you'll get the intuitive nudges. What you'll get people coming into your life going, oh, maybe you could pull me a card, or have some advice. Very much go for it. It's getting it. For me, it's been about believing in myself a lot and getting out my own way. Because if you had seen me about 6 years ago, I was not this person, this confident person, this grown person.
Mm.
And it's also been pursue it, because people are needing our help every day. And I love that I can help shine other people's light as well, and show where what my experience is, because I know that I wasn't that person. 6, 7 years ago, I was not a confident person. I would hardly speak. I was overweight. And I would definitely say, if you're wanting to, it's all about practice. And for your angels and spirit guides to come in, you just have to ask. And we forget to ask for what we're wanting. Very much, there's actually one of my children, child is 17, and she sees spirit. So if I'm doing a reading, she'll shout through at me and go, do you want to tell that spirit to stop walking back and forward in the hall? And I'm like, how does she know that? So there's certain things that she's, for her to pursue it, she says it might be later on down in life, because it can feel a bit scary. It's unknown. You're going through an awakening.
Mm.
And it's very much, yeah, it's when, to be honest, it's when you feel ready to. If you're not ready to, then I always say go with your intuition and go with your gut.
Yeah, and actually, in my my near death experience, when I was like in that energetic state, um, they said that like kids are that are being born right now and have been born over the past several years are gonna have spiritual gifts like already available to them. Like it's like this, the world consciousness is like kind of shifted, and
Yeah.
it's allowing these children to have access to these things, and it's really empowering to have parents that aren't scared of that and don't tell them to stop it, or they have imaginary friends or something. I think that's really really incredible that we do that with our kids and help them to uh, feel
Encourage.
comfortable in that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And we're all born psychic. We're all born with our a light. And as kids, we will see angels and spirit guides. But as we get older, we forget about it. Because spirit and angels and spirit guides are all around us all the time. And as kids, you'll see kids waving out in the corner, going hi, and you're like, who are you talking to? But later on in life, it's because we've, how can I put it? It wasn't acceptable back then. Say about 10, 20 years ago. It's only been really recently that spirituality and connecting to spirit and angels, spirit guides, has actually really, really taken off, because more and more people are awakening. And as children, we do see things, and yeah, we just forget as adults because we get conditioned, and it's going back to yourself.
Yeah, and they told me that they're always around us. Like they said that we have basically like a contract with them that they never leave us, but and they may switch out. Like there's different guides and stuff
Mhm.
that'll come in. Usually, I think I don't know in your experience, I feel like there's just one that's like a main presence.
Yeah,
But they said that the only rule is that we have to ask them for help. Like
yeah,
ask and you shall receive. Like, but if you don't ask, like it's our free will. We can just run amok and do whatever and be miserable. But that's just an experience. It's not a real thing, you know. Like death isn't real. We just keep going. So they allow us to have the experience we want to have because they know that we're eternal beings, right?
yeah, definitely. And it is, it's all about asking. People seem to forget because they go, well, how can I tap into it? How can I know that I'm psychic? How can I ask my angels and spirit guides? Ask. Just
Yeah.
generally, just ask for what you're wanting support and help with, and they will help you because you've got your spirit guides, then you've got your angels, and then you've got your archangels, and then it goes further up as well. So it's very much you've got a spiritual team. Every one of us has a spiritual team looking after us. So our spirit guides is all helping us about with guidance. Angels help us with guidance as well, but angels are very much about protecting us as well.
Yeah, I love that. So now you help people unblock stuff. So can you describe a little bit about some of the services that you're offering and like and if somebody's not familiar with some of these things, like what does that mean and how does that
Yeah.
help people in their life?
So when I'm talking about blocks of energy, stagnant energy can get hidden. We hide feelings and emotions way deep down. And sometimes that emotion or feeling needs to be moved around. And then I will yawn, as a Reiki practitioner, I do Reiki online, and I will yawn it out or I will cry it out. They're normally, why are you crying? Why is everything? It's because I'm helping remove their energy. And also, it just gives us a better clarity with what healing as well. So I'll go to certain parts of the body, even with say that they're needing some confidence. I will see a bright yellow um, light, and I know that they'll need confidence. I normally write. I hear angels and spirit guides all the time, so they talk to me what's all going on, what needs healed. But it's very much, I also provide readings for guidance for people. So guidance is through, I will pull angel cards and then I connect, I channel. And it's very much being like a receiver, being open, going through your meditation, connecting, and grounding as well is so important. So the services I provide is very much healing and guidance, and also I have spirit coming in quite a lot. And sometimes I always go with the flow and say, this is how the reading's going to go. I've asked if spirit wants to come in, and spirit will just, I've just had spirit just come in a session just before, and will come in and talk to them, talk to my client, or might actually stand in the background. You do get quiet spirit, and I can see spirit just like me and you, just standing there.
Hmm.
And it's so unique, but it's very much given. I provide service to help others shine their light with confidence as well. So I do one-to-one coaching. I also run the Angel Club, which is a support network group as well. And it's for people who are wanting to find out that little bit curiosity, spiritual journey, and also wanting to know, yeah, if they're feeling, how can I put it, not supported, there's someone there at the other end.
Wow, yeah. So in my experience, it's like when people are kind of have the curiosity in life of wanting to know more, or I feel like when they start seeking something better for themselves or getting out of an emotion that they're trapped in or some story that's running in their head nonstop, I believe the right people come into their life, right? Like yourself.
Yep.
And when that happens, what you're saying is you have the ability to kind of tune in to that person. And I've done this too. I didn't realize what I was doing, so I'm learning a lot talking to you. So thank you. But so when the tears start coming on, like, because I'll do the same thing. I'll tune into someone, and I don't know. It's like this. You can sense the vibrations of that emotion, and it brings out tears. But we're saying it's kind of releasing
Yep.
some of that negative energy that's trapped in there. And so
Mm-hmm.
by unblocking that and using some other Reiki stuff, I'm sure, uh, once that clears out, it kind of allows you also to kind of tune into any guides or angels or maybe archangels or some type of information that may be around them. And then that kind of allows other information that maybe you wouldn't have access to just by looking at them, but they're kind of feed you some stuff like, look, this happened way back when, they need to let this go. Or I'm sure you get, is that kind of how it goes?
Yeah, so at the start of, if I'm doing I do reading and I do healing session, like half an hour of each I can do, but I do it as a whole session. So for a reading, I will also write down. So every time I get connected, I go into meditation for about 5 minutes. I get myself grounded. And then I will ask my angels and spirit guides about the person. So I'll say, I've got this person, client coming up. I'll say what's going on. I'll ask them what's going on in their life. And then I start writing down and information just flows. And I always say, give me some confirmation for something that I do not know about. Now, everything what comes out there, I'm always amazed what comes out, because there's all, I mean, I done over 400 readings last year, and it was very much, it was just amazing what information was needed. And I love giving that confirmation. It's that confirmation what people are seeking. It's that confirmation of, well, how is angels and spirit guides around? So when you're giving that person that information that no one else would know, it's incredible, because they're like, right, okay, there is something there. I might not get it, but there is something there, and there's something there, always supporting you, and always, yeah, always noticing what you're doing and just giving you guidance, and it's so incredible. But for healing sessions, it's very much going in the same and doing meditation, and I can go into each session. So when I'm doing it, I'll be like, my hands up. I can go into their session and see who they're talking to, spirit, angel, loved one who's passed. Also, I take them in a meditation, give them healing. I will write down what's came up, because I get given messages at the same time and visions. So there's lots going on, which is so incredible, all at one time. And really, when you're a psychic medium, you're meant to concentrate on one thing. I've got about 4 or 5 energies all going on at once.
Mm.
So it's kind of trying to get it all, but I want to give my client the best reading and healing session that I can give them.
I think that's powerful, and I think that I think that people are so different that having just one utility that you lean on, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of ending for a lot of people. I feel like we're kind of being blessed with multiple gifts, so that for each person, you can kind of utilize and bounce through the different ways of tuning in to give that person the most help. And you also brought up shining people's light. And I really see this vision of like, you know, you have the light and the shadow,
Yeah.
and just a tiny little light, will overcome 100 times more shadow. It can't hide. And when two or more lights shine together, it's brighter.
Yep.
And by being in the presence of someone that stands in the light, I feel like it automatically shifts their energy and their awareness. And it's like their energetic body becomes aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
And now it allows them to access that easier and to get out these stuff that's trapped in, so they can become aware of it more, and then it starts growing, right? I think it's powerful.
Definitely, definitely. And it brings me back to a story that 2 years ago, what had happened. I used to go to, this was before I done really, really got into, I'd opened up, done my Reiki, I'd went away, seen my first angel, which was incredible. And then I decided to go to a women's circle, magic circle, and I met a lady there, and she was, I hadn't been this, I never go anywhere myself, so this first time I really went anywhere myself, and I was a little bit vulnerable, scared, afraid. I got welcomed in, and I always believed that circle was so magic because she could see my light and how it wanted to help, but I couldn't see my light. So it was someone else showing me my light and wanting to help me shine and believe in me. And we were all doing meditation, and I kept going for a couple of months, and we kept in contact in general. So further on, 2 years down the line, another 2 years down the line, I see her on Instagram, and we get connecting, talking again. And she says to me, do you want to go on and do an angel card reading, a live angel card reading? And I says, of course. She went, right, okay. And I was petrified going on. And it's because she could see my light and shine it. So later on down the years, we've all connected back up, all the women in the circle, and we're all went on to help each other, to help other people. So it's grown in branches and trees and help other people. So there's coaches, there's I've also been coached, and it's just helping others shine everyone's light.
Yeah, I really like that. I don't know why I'm almost tempted, like maybe at the end we can see if we can both kind of do a quick couple minute meditation and then kind of tune in and see what comes through. um yeah, you know, in my experience, I've learned, like, when I look at somebody or look at a situation in my life, my mind wants to kind of judge that person or that situation as good, bad, right, wrong, or I cast like this judgment on my own life. But as I step into like this healing energy and this meditation and, you know, super consciousness, I believe that now when I look at people or I look at others, and I think people need to hear this, because your intention and your attention is so powerful
Mm-hmm.
that, and your words are like magic, you know, like you can literally speak life into a plant. Like there's all kinds of science studies on plants, right? You can speak life into it and it can grow twice as big, or you
Yeah.
can speak death and that plant will wilt and almost die, right? So your intention and attention, when I look at people now, I don't see the sickness. I don't see them as suffering or hurting or trapped in their stories. You know, I just see the light. I see the greatness in them. And I think by doing that, like you say, when that in the woman's circle, when someone looks at you and they see your light, it's like it adds fuel to it. It's like, and you
Yeah.
can feel it, right? When somebody's present, you know, they're conscious, they're not in the past, they're not in the future, they're present with you and they're paying attention to that light. I think that's how this great awakening in the planet right now, I think that's the best way to do it. If everyone just looks at people with love and compassion, right? Do you think that starts within themselves? How do you think the best way to do that is?
I do think it starts within yourself, because it was something we've been. So when I was doing self-development work, I very much could turn around and say to you, I didn't love myself at that time.
Mm,
And it was looking at, you do start to judge people, you start picking up the wrong type of scenarios and bits and pieces. But it's very much for me, it's all about looking through the eyes of an angel. So I've always how can you help someone today? How can you help even show a smile can go a long way. But for me, it was all about finding out how much I loved myself. So it is about showing love and compassion. And I've always had love and compassion, but then I also feel it's been very much conditioned through experiences, what I've had. And it's only been, I would say, a good 6, 7 years that I always look from now through the eyes of love. And I say that every morning, like you're saying, words are so, so powerful. Affirmations, I 100%. So I always say, if the affirmation is very much, it's people's like, I don't believe in it. It's how you feel. If you feel it, then it'll materialize. And it's very much, affirmations have totally changed my life. And just how it's about helping others and just keep shining on, because yeah, you need that. You need to see everything through the eyes of love. And I mean, you've got to also have darkness to have the light,
mm,
because then you will go through tough times have that lifetime, and it's all about experiencing it.
Yeah, and then recognizing, I think, that I am the shadow and the light,
Yeah.
and we're all just one. But I think you brought up another good point too. Like when people hear of affirmations, they just look, okay, I am this or that, and they keep saying stuff. But the real secret weapon, I believe, in affirmations is the emotion, the feeling behind that.
Yeah.
Like I'll tell people, like, if you can sit in your meditation and you can bring in the feelings and the emotions of the thing that you're desiring, and it's no longer something you want, it's something that you have already felt as if it's already done. You don't need to go get that thing. It's going to find you, right?
Yeah.
The same thing with, believing in yourself, or some type of affirmation about, I am healthy, or I am this or that. And I've just recently discovered, like, oh shoot, what is it called? Krishna, I think. There's some practice that uses mantras, like ancient, uh, uh, oh, what is it called? Sanskrit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like ancient words that have like this meaning and emotion and history behind it. And it was my first really experience. Like, of course I've heard of affirmations and I've used some of them, but I've never really kind of, I don't know, felt the power behind doing like a guided mantras with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And as we're doing this, all of a sudden, like, I just felt like my fingers, it was almost like when you wake up in the morning and your hands like numb, like a vibration of your blood circulating back through. I felt like these vibrations just coming through like my hands and my feet, and is working away. Like it was like this warm liquid energy just kind of like surrounding my heart. And I started like tearing up. It was like so powerful. And from there, like, I really realized the power behind our words, our thoughts, and our feelings. And when you can combine that into affirmations, like, let's say somebody wants to learn, or they feel like they're psychic, or they feel like they've been connected to spirit in some way, using affirmations, do you think they can kind of embody that new personality that is that person that does that? Do you think, like, through a series of keep doing that over and over again, they can eventually like become that person?
So yeah, I do, because sometimes I'll remind myself. I have to remind myself I am wonderfully psychic. I hear, see, feel my angels and spirit guides, divine messages clearly at all times, and I will say certain affirmations. And it's about embodying, but it's also about believing in yourself, and that's where the belief comes from. If you believe in it, then it's going to materialize. But if you're saying it and there's no emotion, no passion, it's just going to keep going and going. And it's very much writing down your own affirmation for you, not picking out somebody else's and using your affirmation. But it's very much everyone can tap. We're all psychic. Everyone can tap into it. It's just practicing. So for practicing for myself, I connect to spirit. I meant to connect to spirit 3 times a week, and I connect maybe twice, and I will sit and write and have that time scheduled out just for me and spirit to connect, to have that connection. As for my angel cards and speak to my angels and spirit guides, I talk to them 24/7. That's just me. Always have done. Even now they're talking and I can hear them. And it's all about, they're saying it's all about lifting people up, this podcast, and that's why I was guided to do it, very much so, and sharing experience. And it's very much practice, having a spiritual practice, but you don't always. So a lot of people even will think, oh, I can't eat junk food. It's not going to make me spiritual. You can eat junk food. It's
Yeah.
very much, you can eat junk food. You can. It will help with clear messages, and raw foods do help. So sometimes I might have a bowl of how can I put it? A bowl of pineapple, because pineapple helps clear your pineal glands, Also helps with your third eye, is red grapes, and nuts also help ground. So if I'm doing any energy work, I will also have chocolate at the end of it, because sometimes I'm really hungry after doing lots and lots of energy work. But we're all psychic, and it's tapping into that gift, and it's wanting to and scheduling it out, very much so.
Ooh, so okay, so let's say someone feels that way and they do want to start practicing. What would be like your initial baby steps in starting to practice that awareness of that gift?
If it's, I would say general tools. So we use tools at the start. So if I'm doing a reading, because I've gradually kept, I don't use my cards as much anymore. It's just like me and you talking at the moment. And it's very much, so I would advise pulling a card a day and just asking for some advice. Say that you were needing advice on your career, and you didn't know what way to go, or some advice on a relationship. Pull a card. So angel cards are very loving. You will never get a bad anything bad, because I know that it's very much, it can be very scary because tarot cards and angel cards, but know that there's nothing scary about it, because I have had a lot of people who say, oh, what are you going to tell me, what are you going to tell me? Everything that comes from angels and spirit guides, and it's very loving and very compassionate. And they will have the odd time they'll turn around and be like giving someone a telling off, but it's a nice telling off, it's not a bad telling off. It's very much about, if you're procrastinating too long, they will say you're procrastinating. But very much, so I would go and look at like-minded groups, like the Angel Club. There are other groups, if courses. I would also look at pulling a card a day, and practicing with friends as well. So maybe giving a card, getting a friend to come over and ask and pulling them a couple of cards as well, because it tells the story. So just go with what you're feeling, but you get a book with the cards as well, so you can also read the book for advice. Just going within, meditating as well. Meditation is so important. Meditate and going within and just seeing what comes up, and because meditating helps us calm our mind, so then we can get messages coming in, channeled messages. So meditation as well, and working on your third eye and your they're saying my throat chakra, my solar plex.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And meditation really kind of opened the door for me when I came back out of my experience, and I knew spirits there now. So I started talking to them. I'd write them notes and stuff. Like I would I would say, what's the fastest way back to that state that I experienced? And by the way, it was just love. Like I get a lot of feedback too of like hell and all these negative things, but what I saw and what I felt was just absolute love, and just caring and just love. And I think there is, like, if you can place your attention on the darkness, and these destructive energies are definitely there, and that's how life creates itself. But you don't have to focus on that stuff. And I think meditation, when I asked like what's the fastest way to that state, meditation came into my experience. And initially it was so challenging for me because I'm addicted to my thinking. But as I allowed myself just a few minutes, just to sit with myself and say, okay, I'm just going to sit here long enough to pay attention to the awareness of the thoughts, rather than, oh, okay, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about my taxes, oh, I need to stop thinking. That's not the point. The point for me was become familiar with myself, allow these thoughts to kind of pass like little clouds in the sky, and eventually that gap in between the thoughts gets bigger and bigger. And now you have an emptiness inside that space that allows information to come through,
Yep.
right? Very
It's very,
powerful stuff.
it is, and I think that's incredible. That the thoughts just pass through, that it just totally pass. But for the thoughts that didn't pass through, I'm very much about writing my triggers out for me. And
Oh,
it's about writing out. So for me, if something keeps on at me and I'm feeling uncomfy, say it can be a certain word, I will write out what's coming out for me, and I alchemize the energy. So it's writing it out, seeing where it's going, how you're feeling, going deep and deep and deeper, and then changing that energy of gratitude.
ooh, I like that. Yeah, and alchemy is a big topic. I wish we had more time to dive into that, but that's a big shift. Louise, I'm just so thankful for you to be on because you have so many gifts and talents,
Oh, thank you.
and being able to use all of those to help people. And oh, I just love the words "shine your light." When I go into a place that's full of just negativity and just a lot of like pushback, or you can't do this, you can't do that, a lot of limiting beliefs, and you can feel the energy of people complaining and just like that. I I'll go into the bathroom and I'll just look in the mirror and I'll tell myself, like, you are light. You are standing in the light. You are of light. You are of love. You are of God. And I'll even place like an energetic shield around myself
Yeah,
and call back all of my energy that I've allowed to leave or have been taken from me. And people don't realize that your intention to that is so powerful, and you can feel it. You can feel that guidance and that shield, and call on your spirit guides. Hey, I'm here. Help me. Like, call in this light, and I'll stand there sometimes and someone's talking, and it's just like I just see light in them, just light and love, and whatever their mask that they have on, it's just a program that they're trapped in.
yeah.
And by elevating your mind to see them as greater than that, you allow them the possibility to be aware of it and grow, right?
Definitely. And I love that you brought up protection, because protection, even if I always, it's, I ask angels to come in if I'm feeling any heavy or negative energy. And I will ask I ask Archangel Michael to come in, and he will lift any heavy energies. And it's very much, even the angels of travel, I will call upon my angels of travel and imagine the car turning blue all the way around. You can do this on a plane, you can do it on a train, and I'll call in the archangels to protect us driving back and forward. And also the angel of travel is Archangel Raphael, and I'll imagine either him on top of the car and he's like looking out, and I always imagine that. So I absolutely love that, and it's very much, it's protecting your energies going out as well.
Yeah, I love that. I've too have had a lot of experience with interaction from Archangel. It presented itself as Mike Kyle. I don't know, for some reason,
Michael, yeah,
in a
he's
reading
the
I had.
angel protector. Yeah.
And yeah, it's very powerful stuff. And if anybody's made it to the end here and you're listening, I encourage you to keep seeking, keep looking, reach out to Louise. Just start asking bigger questions in your life. And
Mm-hmm.
Louise, I can't believe it's already the top of the hour. What if somebody could ask, or let's say they're interested in this stuff and they really want to know more or dive in or whatever? Was there like a book or maybe a movie or video or just something in your life that somebody could check out today that really impacted your awakening?
For my awakening, it was actually about manifesting. So
Oh,
my awakening was it was by Lynn Grabhorn, and she is talking about, excuse me, your life is waiting, and it's talking about what are you waiting for in life.
mm,
And she talks about how we can manifest anything, and it really opened my eyes, because spirituality wise we are all conditioned that we're not worthy enough or we're not deserving enough. And she taps into that, and she talks about how you are worthy and you can manifest amazing things. And for me, that really opened things up for me massively. um that was the first book I ever read before The Secret or any of that came out, and it totally changed my life spiritual wise. And it
what
is
was the
a
name of
really
it?
good book. It is Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting.
Ah, okay, love it. Yeah, so we'll have to drop that down below. And it's about to be 11:11 here in 3 seconds. And yeah, I just want to kind of sit and really thank you.
Thank you for
And
having me on.
um, yeah, I don't know. What are you feeling? You want to kind of tune in to see if Spirit has anything to say before we end? If anybody's listening, I just ask you to kind of close your eyes and anchor yourself to your breath. Your breath is your gift of life given to you by the trees and the plants. As you breathe out carbon dioxide, the trees and the plants turn that into oxygen, given and transformed by light and energy, making its way all the way to your nostrils, breathing in life. You are connected to everything. Mm. Mm. Mm.
That was lovely.
Yeah.
What they kept saying to me though was I kept seeing you in a hospital bed and they kept saying you're safe. And it was all about how continue on your journey was the only thing I kept picking up for you. And it's that search, there's a search going on as well. Um, and they're also talking about it's like going up your own mountain and keep climbing it and keep climbing it.
Mm. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that kind of really resonates with me. So anybody tuning in, that moment there where there was silence, that's the present moment, full of infinite possibilities and light and love. And the more you pay attention to it, the more it grows in your life and you start to see more magical stuff. Ah, Louise, very beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're
And
so welcome.
look forward to if you have something going on, have you on in the future, and we can dive deeper into some of these topics, maybe get into some healings and some cool stuff, and keep shining our light and
Definitely.
look forward to seeing you. And guys, plug into your life. All right, Louise, thank you.
Thank you.